Hey everyone, it's Wild Josh from Geek-Cetera, and I'm here today to talk to you about Star Wars, The Rise of Kylo Ren, issue number 2. I picked it up just a couple days ago. I went through it, read it, and I wanted to talk to you about what I liked, what I didn't like, and let's get into it.
We're going to talk about geeky things.
Woohoo!
So issue 2 picks up right where issue 1 left off. We have Ben Solo talking to Snoke on this planet, this strange, almost exoplanet looking thing that's a jungle, and he's talking about the darkness that resides there, and he's being all Snoke-like. And Kylo talks about, or Kylo, I guess at this point he's still Ben, he talks about how he wants to join the Knights of Ren. And then he also hints that he has like this alter ego dark side that Snoke is fully aware of, and that he needs to embrace that to become who he's truly meant to be. So from there it goes to a flashback to where Kylo is with Luke Skywalker and Lor Santeca, who is the old guy that dies at the very beginning of Force Awakens. And they are on a ship going to the planet Elfrona, I think is how you say it, Elfrona. Which apparently at this planet there's a old Jedi temple that no one really knows about, and there is some artifacts there that they're going to retrieve. So they arrive at this planet, and as they go into this temple, they're in this this huge, I don't know what you would call it. It's almost like a treasure room of just artifacts and pieces from the ancient Jedi. There's holocrons and weaponry and all sorts of things. And there they're ambushed by the Knights of Ren. Now remember, this is a flashback. So they're ambushed by the Knights of Ren, and they are outnumbered. Now you have Luke Skywalker, you have a young Ben Solo, and then you have a Lor Santeca who's not a Jedi. So you basically have a Padawan and a Jedi Knight, or Jedi Master, and a group of these Knights of Ren who are trained warriors. And they attack, and Luke basically tells them, like, listen, this is a scene that I think a lot of fans wanted to get in one of the movies, specifically Last Jedi, and we didn't get, where it is just where Luke is the true Jedi that everyone wanted him to be, and he just unleashes, and that's what happens to the Knights of Ren. He doesn't kill any of them, but he just obliterates them. It's like it's easy to him. He takes them all down, and all that's left is him and Ren, who we were introduced to in the first issue of the series, and he bests Ren, and Ren actually then takes off his mask, and he drops his mask onto the ground, and we get to see a picture or the face of this Ren, and it's an interesting picture, interesting face, not exactly what you're anticipating, because as you look at his body, it's all scarred up and ugly and deformed. His face is actually pretty much intact, and he looks a lot like if you remember in the old Legends series there was a series, I think it was called Legacy, where it's like Luke's great-grandson, and his name's Cade Skywalker. He looks similar to what Cade Skywalker, in my recollection anyways, looked like in that series, where he's kind of a normal, good-looking guy, longer, curlier hair, and just looks like a normal dude. He drops that helmet. Now we flash forward to Ben Solo, is there in that same temple again. As I forgot to mention earlier, when he was talking to Snoke, he mentioned that he wanted to join the Knights of Ren, and Snoke mentioned, go back to where you had first met them. And that was that when he was a kid. So he goes back to that Elfrona planet, goes into that temple, into that room, and still laying there on the ground is Ren's helmet that he had taken off that day. So Ben Solo picks it up and he puts it on, and as soon as he puts it on, the helmet speaks to him and it says, we've been waiting for you, basically. What took you so long, almost? So somehow Ren is able to communicate to Ben Solo through that helmet. Whether it's through some kind of communicator or through the Force, it's unsure. And then as soon as he takes the helmet off, who shows up is those 3 Jedi that we got in the first issue that basically seem like they're going to be tracking him. And they're there ready to arrest him for what happened at Luke's temple when it was destroyed. So that's where the comic book ends. One thing I forgot to mention that I wanted to mention is that when we go back to that flashback and Ben Solo is with Thorson Tekka and Luke Skywalker in the shuttle on the way to Elfrona, he is talking to Snoke. So at that point in time, he's talking through the Force in his mind to Snoke. So at that point in time, there's backstory apparently because he's aware of who Snoke is and they're able to communicate through the Force with each other, which is interesting. And you see through that conversation and through his feelings in that whole scene where he is almost like Anakin, feeling like he's underappreciated by Luke and that he's more powerful than Luke, and if only Luke would let him, do this and do that. So we're getting a very much that Snoke had been influencing him, similar to how Palpatine had been influencing Anakin, and that he's already starting to make his turn towards the dark side. So I forgot to mention that earlier. But anyways, like I said, the issue ends with those 3 Jedi confronting Ben Solo, and he is holding the mask of Ren. And then we get that the next episode, or next issue, I should say, issue number 3 of Rise of Kylo Ren, is going to come out on February 12th, 2020. Now, if that date is accurate is to be seen. Actually, issue number 2 came out a week early, so we'll see if it's the same thing with that one. But I will plan on picking that one up and doing another video as well. Now, what did I like about this issue? I really liked, like I mentioned, seeing Luke in his full-out glory, just going all Jedi. That was really, really cool in my opinion. I really liked that, and I wish we could see that in a movie setting. What I didn't care for was this episode was just slower. There wasn't a whole lot going on. It just felt to me as it wasn't as exciting as the first one, I guess. But that's going to happen in a long series of comics, is you're going to have issues that are really good, and you're going to have issues that maybe you're down a little bit. Issue number 1 obviously is going to be very good because it's trying to catch you and hook you into that series. Issue 2, I felt like was a little down, but not bad. I still enjoyed it, and I look forward to what's to come. I look forward to finding out more about the story between Snoke and Ben Solo, and how he becomes a Knight of Ren, and what is going to happen with these 3 Jedi that are chasing him and all that. So, yeah, I would recommend that if you really like Star Wars, that you should check out the series. But thanks for watching this video. I appreciate you taking the time to watch it. I would love it if you throw a like on the video if you enjoy what I'm doing here. And also be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon so you're notified when I put up any new content. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.